So a subscriber wanted me to show how I sow seeds. I've done this in the past, but I'll do a quick video on it. These are my saved Lophophora seeds. These are Williamsii, and these are mixed species. So just an estimate, I'd guess around maybe 150 seeds here. I'll put it in this larger planter, and maybe 50 seeds here for willies. I'll place it in this smaller planter. So I usually do it two different ways. I either fill the bottom with gravel and then just a very thin top layer of topsoil or garden soil, but I don't have any fresh rocks or fresh soil, so I tend to recycle a lot. And this is just a mixture of mostly gravel with some topsoil. So just fill this up. There's some moss here. There's sphagnum moss. It's not an issue. Just fill it up. Nothing special. And you would want a very thin or very small grit top layer so that the seeds don't fall in too deeply. But since I don't have that, I'll just compact it a little bit, and that should be fine. The small amount of depth that the seeds do fall in will not be an issue. They will just be a little bit etiolated until it reaches the sunlight, which is not an issue. With time, it'll compact, and the elongated flesh will just become subterranean flesh with time. So again, very simple. Just, you can see some cracks. It tends to fall a bit deeper to seeds if you don't either put a thin top layer or very fine grit rocks. Yeah, that's perfect. Now I'll just water this, and then I'll sow the seeds how I usually do. Here's some regular tap water. You can water it however you'd like, but make sure the top is wet so that the seeds adhere a little bit to the top of the soil. So usually I add a very thin top layer, like I mentioned, of either garden soil or topsoil, and with time, as you water, the soil will tend to just filter through, so it's never been an issue. And the sooner you get your cacti to adapt to adult conditions, the better, in my opinion. I do not have the highest survival rate nor the highest germination rates, but the seedlings that do survive my care tend to be quite hardy. So here's the Williamsii. There's some cotton, that's fine, it's not an issue. I'll try to spread this out as much as I can. I'm not even going to cover this, I'll leave it exposed. Try to spread this out a little bit. And that's it. Within a week or two, I should get some germination. I'll mist this every day until germination. If I had some topsoil, it would do a better job, but this is completely fine. I'll actually water this a little bit just to push any seeds down, and it'll stay in the cracks and nooks, and that's it. And this one should do a better job at retaining the moisture. Again, nothing special, just sow on top. This one will be quite crowded with time, but I like the visual appeal of a very crowded pot. So cotton, try to spread this out a little bit. So the mixed Lophophora seeds here, they tend to have a lot of seeds. Even if you or any cross that you make, it tends to have a lot of seeds, unlike the Lophophora Williamsii. And it's very nice to propagate these since they seed very well. And that's it. I'll place this in a very bright shade location, and I'll mist it every day or so. If I didn't want to mist daily, I could just cover this with a cling wrap and it should be fine. The temperatures in my area are still fairly cool. Winter is at the end, but we still are having 20 Celsius days. So it may take a while to germinate, but just leave them, and even if it takes a year, it'll germinate sooner or later. And here's the final location I'll leave them. They'll get morning sun, and in the afternoon it'll get very bright shade. And it's perfect. Here you can faintly see some seeds. They're the seeds from these Asteroidberg, something like that. And I just, after the fruits are fairly dry, I just scattered the seeds, and when I water it in, it'll be fine. None germinated so far, but the temperatures, like I mentioned, are pretty cool still. And this is my spare seed planter. This is almost completely gravel on the bottom and a thin layer of topsoil. So many of these seeds were just tossed in. These are astrophytum, some mixed other seeds, and there's quite a bit of geocalcium seeds. And I just tossed them in. There's no cover, and I don't even keep misting this planter. I water it whenever I remember, usually once a week. And some astrophytum have germinated after many months. I assumed that they were all dead seeds, but I did get some germination after quite a while. And I see quite a lot of geocalcium seeds. These were planted maybe 2-3 weeks ago. I just tossed the extra seeds that I have in here. Again, there's no special care here. This one is maybe a year old, and this one as well. And it's another monstrose geocalcium. And yeah, you can see it's fairly carefree. Just toss them in. There's even moss growing. I don't take much care of this. I just toss the seeds since I could get a mutation like this one, or just nice looking cactus like this one. You can do this pretty much with any seed. You'll just have a slightly lower germination rate. However, the seeds that do survive here, I've had quite a few germinate and they just rotted or died. But those that do survive here will do very well in your conditions, since they require the least care. And yeah, I see quite a lot of geocalcium germinating now. And the thin layer of topsoil or garden soil is really nice, since it'll help retain the moisture, so you don't need to worry about watering.